Matsui at second base. Miguel Tejada will be at short, and Carlos Lee in left field. Jeb Blum, a switch hitter at third base. Hunter Pence will be in right field. Pudge Ivan Rodriguez will be behind the plate. Darren Erstad will play first base. Lance Berkman is out with a strained left calf. And Roy Oswalt, who is 5-0 against the West, on the mound for the Astros. For the Dodgers, Chad Billingsley with a record of 9-4. He is 3-2 lifetime against the Astros. All 3 victories took place in Houston. You may remember at the All-Star game he pitched briefly and allowed 1 run, 2 hits in 1 inning. Before that, he had a shaky start in Milwaukee, allowing 5 runs on 5 hits, lasted 5 and did not figure in the decision. For Billingsley, he is winless in his last 5 starts, and he is trying to join distinguished company. Jason Marquis has won 11. Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum, Johan Santana, and Adam Wainwright have all won 10, and Billingsley's on the outside with a record of 9-4. Take a look at the Dodgers with the leather. Defensively, the outfield of Manny Ramirez. Juan Pierre will make a start in center, and Andre Ethier in right. Blake, Furcal, Hudson, and Loney on the infield, and Billingsley and Martin the battery. Meanwhile, for the Dodgers, as Matt Kemp sits and rests in the Dodger dugout. And of course, remember when Manny Ramirez came back, that's what Joe Torre said. He planned to play Juan Pierre about twice a week, whereby he would rest Matt Kemp 1 game and then he would rest Andre Ethier in another. And for Juan Pierre in a starting role tonight, after receiving a magnificent standing ovation from the crowd last night. Michael Bourne hits the first pitch on the ground to Orlando Hudson, and before you can say out, Michael Bourne is now 0 for his last 9 at-bats, and he sure didn't hang around. So 1 away on 1 pitch, and Kaz Matsui coming up. So Bourne, with the national anthem barely disappearing into the hills in center field, grounds out. And the batter now, Matsui, who has a modest 7-game hitting streak. Matsui in last night's game at a single and a double, went 2 for 4. Shows bunt, takes low, ball 1, 1-1. Beautiful summer's evening, pretty hot day, 77 degrees. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and Billingsley fires, and that's low and away, ball 2. The Giants and the Pirates. We were talking a moment ago about Tim Lincecum having won 10. He did not have a decision, and they've gone into the 10th inning with Pittsburgh tied up 1-1. Matsui, meanwhile, takes the strike, and the count 2-1. Billingsley beat Wandy Rodriguez and the Astros 2-0 way back in April. Works now, and Maz hits it into the gap, coming over as Ramirez to pick it off easily as the ball was slicing towards him. Kind of the old room service fly ball. And with 2 down in the first inning, the batter now, Miguel Tejada. Tejada has a 9-game hitting streak. He went 1 for 4 last night, but he was robbed 3 times. On a ground ball in the hole, for call through high, and Loney tagged Tejada out. Then he hit a drive into the gap in right center, and Andre Ethier ran it down. And then, after getting a base hit to keep his streak alive, he lifted a little fly ball into shallow left, and Furcal went out and got it. So Tejada hitting .328 and continues to be a very tough out. Right hand hitting shortstop, and Billingsley's next pitch is swung on and fouled back. When you look at Tejada and compare him to the other shortstops in the National League, offensively, first in hits, first in doubles, second in batting, second in RBIs, first in multi-hit games, and defensively he's out of sight. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Tejada swings and drives it into left center field and deep. Back goes Pierre, watching this one go over the wall for a home run. So Miguel Tejada hits his 8th home run of the year. He has 50 runs batted in, and the Astros in the first inning take a 1-0 lead, and Tejada now has hit in 10 in a row. So he is a team photo all by himself. Got a big breaking ball that started high, then dropped right over into his zone, and Tejada hits it out. So 1-0 in favor of the Astros, and Carlos Lee now will check in after Tejada got a hero's welcome in the dugout. Carlos Lee hitting .308 with 13 home runs and 49 runs batted in. Big right-hand hitter, and he takes low and away, ball one. 1-0 the count. For Chad Billingsley, a 9-game winner. That would be the 10th home run that he's allowed this year. And the 1-0 pitch is way off the plate. 2-0 the count. For Carlos Lee, he knows the thrill of hitting a home run. He hit one in his first major league at bat 10 years ago. The 2-0 pitch on the way, and he lines it into left field for a base hit. So with 2 down, Tejada hits a home run. Lee follows with a line drive single to left, and the switch hitter Jeff Blum coming up. Jeff Blum appeared last night as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning and grounded out on the first pitch. Jeff hitting .280. He has 2 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Went to Cal at Berkeley and was originally drafted by the Expos in 1994. He takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Jeff Blum, the father of 4 daughters, including triplets. Won Game 3 of the 2005 World Series with a home run for the Chicago White Sox against Houston. And the strike one pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Jeff went to Chino High School in San Bernardino County. In fact, he talks about playing in CIF championship games, 1 year at Dodger Stadium, 1 year in Anaheim, and he was playing third base, and a ball went through his legs, and that was the only run in the game. After that, he played shortstop the rest of his career in high school, but in the big leagues, he can play almost anybody in the infield, third, second, first, and even a spot in the outfield. So Blum, a switch hitter, 6'3", waiting at the plate and asking for time, granted by Jerry Meals. 0-2 the count. When the Astros won last night, they got above 500 for the first time since the end of last year. Blum squirts one up along third, and it's going to hit the bag for a base hit. Casey Blake knew that he didn't have a play, so he allowed the ball to decide the issue, and it actually hits the bag. So with 2 out, a home run by Tejada, a line drive single by Lee, and one that looked like it came out of a hose as it went up along third base and actually hits the bag for a base hit. So Billingsley now has to face Hunter Pence. Pence hitting .300 with 11 home runs and 37 runs batted in. Pence selected to the All-Star team, so he was in the same clubhouse with Chad Billingsley. Hunter in last night's game was 2 for 4. Batting .300. Lanky right-hand batter, bends at the knees, has to get away from a pitch. That's a strike, and the count 0-1. Hunter is 6'4" and kind of bailed on a breaking ball that caught a good part of the plate. That's embarrassing for anybody, but especially a big leaguer. But as we mentioned last night, he is a rarity at 6'4", and he still chokes up on the bat. The strike one pitch on the way, and Pence takes low, blocked nicely by Martin, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Hunter Pence, quite a young player, and of course the Astros understandably are very high in talking about him. In fact, they were talking to Ed Wade, the general manager, along with Cecil Cooper, the skipper, and they were saying they wouldn't trade Hunter Pence for Roy Halladay. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Billingsley out of his stretch. Chad deals fastball swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. When Hunter Pence was a rookie, what a great way to break in at the All-Star break. He was hitting .342 in his rookie year. So Hunter waiting, 1-2 the count. Out of a stretch goes Billingsley, checks the runners. Chad deals in the dirt. Another block by Martin, and the count 2-2. So Billingsley got born on the first pitch. Matsui didn't hang around long. He hit a fly ball to Ramirez. But then Tejada hits a home run. Lee a line drive single, and then Blum squirts one up along third that hits the bag for an infield single. So Tejada leads the way, and the deuces are wild to Hunter Pence. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Billingsley's breaking ball, and that's whacked into the gap in left center, and that's going to go to the wall. So in comes Lee. The relay is not going to be in time to get Blum, and standing at second with a 2-run double is Hunter Pence, and just like that, the Astros lead 3-0. So all this with 2 out. A home run, 2 singles, and a double, and the Astros have jumped out in front. For Houston, they have made it a habit as Rick Honeycutt goes to the mound to talk to Chad Billingsley. They usually play exceptionally well after the All-Star break. They're kind of like that racehorse Silky Sullivan of years ago that would lay back and then suddenly go with the afterburners. They have won 6 of the last 8 they have played here at Dodger Stadium, and a smiling Hunter Pence has just tacked 2 more on the board to give the Astros a 3-0 lead. Since 2002, and of course Cecil Cooper wasn't the manager that far back, but since 2002 they have always played exceptionally well after the All-Star break. This year, after a month's play, they were 10 games under 500 and 9 back. They are 26-15 since, so they're coming strong. And the first pitch now to Pudge Rodriguez, in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Rodriguez rested last night. Humberto Quintero played and hit a home run, his first of the year. Rodriguez waiting, no balls and 1 strike. The next pitch is lunged at and missed, and the count 0-2. Only one other catcher in all of Major League history has recorded more putouts, Ivan Rodriguez. The other catcher is sitting in the Dodger dugout by the name of Brad Osmus. Strike 2 pitch is a line drive base hit to left. Ramirez is up with it, will not throw to the plate. Pence will score, and the Astros lead 4-0 in the first inning. And with 2 out, home run, 2 singles, a double, and yet another single. So Phil Billingsley, not quite sure what hit him, but the Astros have tattooed him here. 4 runs, 5 hits. So Rodriguez with a base hit and a run batted in. And the batter now will be the 8th hitter in the lineup, and that would be Darren Erstad, who is playing for Lance Berkman. Berkman hurt his left calf, straining it, trying to run out a base hit last night. And so Darren Erstad had to finish up, and Erstad was brilliant defensively, not doing anything with the bat. Darren's had a bad hamstring, and he's hitting just 163, would not be playing except for the fact that Berkman went down. So Darren, the pride of North Dakota. Left-hand batter waiting at the plate. Here comes Billingsley, and he's high and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Erstad, a special player. He's the only major leaguer in history to win a Gold Glove as an infielder and as an outfielder, and he made 2 marvelous plays last night. 1 ball and no strikes. Darren swings, fouls it off, and the count 1-1. The years have certainly taken their toll on Erstad, as they do to everybody. But when you look back to 2000, what a year. He hit .355. He had 240 hits. He became the first leadoff hitter to drive in 100 since Nomar Garcia Parra. That was Darren Erstad. Darren takes off the plate, and the count 2-1. Chad Billingsley, meanwhile, is being pushed around. I mean, he was hit in the All-Star game. He was pushed around his last time out in Milwaukee, and he is winless in his last 5 starts. and he's trailing 4-0 here in the first inning. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way to Darren Erstad. Chad deals, and it's grounded foul outside of first down the line, and Erstad will need a new bat. 2-2 the count. Darren with 1 home run, 5 runs batted in. They go to the wood pile and get him a new stick. First came up with the Angels out of the University of Nebraska back in 1996, and was with the Angels through 06, then the White Sox, and the last year and a half with Houston. So Darren waiting. 2-2 the count. 4-0 Astros first inning, and the next pitch is outside, ball 3. So Chad Billingsley struggling, and of course Roy Oswalt is on the mound for Houston, and he is 5-0 against Western Division teams. So to give him 4 in the first inning, that's why the handicap for the Dodgers. 3-2 with the runner going, and that's lined into right field, base hit. So Rodriguez just keeps on going to third, and the hits continue against Chad Billingsley. So with 2 out, everyone has joined in the fun.
Pitcher number 44, Roy Oswalt.
Boy, 6 straight hits with a home run starting it off. Tejada hits 1 out. Lee a line single to left. Blum a dribbler up along third for a base hit. Hunter a double to the gap in left center to drive in 2. Rodriguez a single to drive in Pence. Erstad a single to send Rodriguez to third. And the batter now is Roy Oswalt. Now the last time Oswalt had an at bat, he didn't like it. He was pitching well against Washington, and it was in the 6th inning. And I'm not sure if he got jammed or hit the ball off the end of the bat, but he had a numbness in fingers on his right hand from the at bat. He swings and misses, and maybe it's just as well. 0-1 the count. The long man in the Dodger bullpen is Jeff Weaver, and he's up right now and throwing in the first inning. So Roy Oswalt waiting at the plate, and Weaver throwing back at Billingsley. Strike 1 pitch on the way to the Astro pitcher is fouled away, and the count 0-2. For the year, Oswalt has a half a dozen hits. He has 2 runs batted in, and what makes him very dangerous, he has had 46 plate appearances, and he has struck out only 4 times. Well, the count's 0-2, so Billingsley ready to make his 31st pitch of the inning, trying to put him away. And it is in the dirt, kicks off to the right, and down to second base goes Erstad. So we've had just about everything else with the wild pitch thrown in. And now the Astros have runners at second and third with 2 out, leading 4-0. For Billingsley, trying to get a little extra on a breaking ball, and throws it away. For Chad, that is his 6th wild pitch. Tops on the squad. 1-2 the count. Roy Oswalt, right-hand batter, right-hand pitcher. Billingsley delivers, and it's fouled away, and the count stays 1-2. Oswalt not only handy with the bat, but as he stands at home plate, he is also a fine defensive pitcher. He made 107 starts without an error. So Roy Oswalt, the pride of Ware, Mississippi, waiting at the plate. Billingsley ready, and the 1-2 curveball is a little ground ball to short. Up with it there is for call to get him, and finally, after 9 men come to the plate, Billingsley gets the 3rd out, but not before he gives up 4 runs, spearheaded by Miguel Tejada's home run. It is 4-0. 33 pitches, 28 more to get 3 outs. Here's the Dodger lineup with Rafael Furcal, followed by Juan Pierre, and then Manny Ramirez, Casey Blake, and Andre Ethier. James Loney with a 12-game hitting streak, followed by Orlando Hudson. Then you have Russell Martin and Chad Billingsley. On the mound for the Astros, Roy Oswalt. 32 years old come the 29th of August, from Kosciusko, Mississippi, and lives in Ware. Ware is spelled W-E-I-R, and they have maybe 500 people living in the town. In fact, as he was talking about the fact there were only 32 people in his senior class, they didn't have baseball, so he played football, and it was the football coach that got him a scholarship to a junior college to play baseball. So Roy ready to work to Rafael Furcal, gets a strike, and the count 0-1. Oswalt is 5-4. Furcal, as he checks in at the plate, hitting from the left side and batting overall .253. He takes a little high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Furcal in last night's game 0 for 3 with a walk, struck out twice. Oswalt making his 20th start of the year. Now the right-hander's 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. One of the amazing things about Roy Oswalt is his record against the Cincinnati Reds. You know what he is lifetime against the Reds? 23-1. Now the 1-2 pitch on the way, and that's off the plate. 2-2. 23-1. How'd he do against the Reds this year? He's had 3 no decisions. Oswalt, both feet on the rubber, left foot slightly in front of the right. That makes him a little different. 2-2 pitch fouled away. Roy Oswalt stands an even 6, 185-pounder. He had back-to-back years when he won 20 games. In 2004 and 2005, won 17 last year. Roy looks in to get a sign. Now the 2-2 pitch to Rafael Furcal, very high, ball 3, 3-2. So the Dodgers trail 4-0 in the first inning against a 20-game winner who, among other things, is 5-0 against the Western Division. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Furcal lunges, foul tips it. It's held by Rodriguez, and down goes Rafael. So 1 away, and the batter now will be Juan Pierre. Ball just seemed to run away from Furcal, and he chased it. It was just webbed by Rodriguez on the foul, and with 1 out, Juan Pierre checks in. And looking at the Dodgers against Oswalt, we can tell you Pierre has done well, hitting .353 against him. One reason why he's in there tonight. Hits a first ball and grounds it to Matsui. So just like that, 2 down in the first inning. 4-0 in favor of the Astros, and Manny Ramirez coming up. He is 1 for 3 against Oswalt, and that was a home run. Interesting angle about Roy Oswalt, and it seems virtually impossible as Ramirez visits at home plate before getting in. Manny hitting .352, 9 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Oswalt looks down to get a sign, now to his windup. Right-hander's first pitch, a strike. Back in 1999, Oswalt pitched through a sore shoulder. And then one day he was working on his hunting truck. He grabbed a bare spark plug wire, and he got hurled all the way across the garage. The pitch to Ramirez in again, 0-2. And he told his wife, "My truck shocked me, and my arm doesn't hurt anymore." And he was cured. How or why, nobody knows, but it's true. Strike 2 pitch to Manny Ramirez on a changeup. Strike 3. Manny didn't know whether to fish or cut bait, and down he goes. So Furcal and Ramirez strike out. It's a 1-2-3 inning, and the Astros lead 4-0. and the leadoff man Michael Bourne up there and takes ball one. Bourne swung at the first pitch in the first inning and grounded out. He was 0 for 4 last night. He is 0 for his last 9 at bat. Shows bunt, fouls it back, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. Michael out of Houston, Texas, lives in Humble, Texas. You understand that when you learn that his father is a petrochemical operator. Mom is a record keeper at Texas Children's Hospital. The 1-1 pitch to Michael Bourne, and he takes a strike. Left-handed, left-hand hitter, right-hand thrower. Last year he had 41 stolen bases, so the objective is to keep him off the base paths. And the 1-2 pitch swung on, little ground ball to Loney, and he will do it himself on. Whoa, he's late. He was trying to do it himself, and Bourne beat him to the bag. Though an embarrassed James Loney, and for Bourne, he gets a pat on the back for his hustle. So the Astros had 6 hits in the first inning, and now Bourne just beats James Loney to the bag. Very close. But Bourne got most of the bag, and it'll go as a base hit. And the batter now will be Kazuo Matsui, who flied to left field in the first inning. So Bourne, a threat now to distract Billingsley from the base, and the breaking ball is low to Matsui. 1 ball and no strikes. Matsui has a 7-game hitting streak. He's reached base safely either by hit or walk 9 straight, and 19 of the last 25. From Osaka, Kazuo Matsui, the little Matsui compared to Hideki. The next pitch to him in for a strike, and the count 1-1. So Michael Bourne, who stole 41 last year and has stolen 32 out of 40, stands on the bag, and Matsui waiting. 1-1 the count. Kazuo is 5'10", 185. He'll be 34 in October. Billingsley turns, throws to first, and Bourne back on the bag. Talking about Matsui last night, that he is really a guy who works hard in the weight room. A very hard 185. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. Overall hitting .256. Now the 1-1 pitch, instead another throw to first. Matsui's good numbers, but not very many at bats. Hitting .333 right-handed, but only .238 left-handed. And of course, with a preponderance of right-hand pitching, he's going to be batting left-handed most of the time. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Billingsley another look over at Bourne, and there he goes. Pitch is swung on and hit foul down the right field line, back into the stands, and the count 1-2. Boy, what a glorious evening here in Los Angeles. It's been very hot here, but a beautiful evening, sunset time. Crowd somewhere in the high 40s. Fireworks after the game, and the Astros put a match to the fuse in the first inning and scored 4 and lead 4-0. Now Billingsley ready. Another check of Bourne. The 1-2 pitch is taken very high, and a 2-ball 2-strike count to Kazuo Matsui. Matsui originally signed by the Mets as a free agent out of Japan, and Billingsley deep in thought, trying to get some outs here. Got the first 2 outs in the first inning and then gave up 4 runs. Chad ready, very deliberate. There goes Bourne, and the pitch fouled away. So Michael Bourne has gone twice, and each time Matsui has fouled it away. Matsui has got over the idea of wearing a certain number. When he was with the Cebu Lions, he always wore number 7. Then when he came to the big leagues with the Mets, he couldn't get 7, so he took 25. Add 2 and 5, and he got 7, but now satisfied with number 3. The pitch to Kaz, ground ball smothered by Blake, and that's about all as it trickles on through into left field. So Kazuo Matsui hits one right by Casey Blake, a head first face in the dirt block, and that's about all. So for Billingsley, he has now allowed 8 hits in 1 inning plus, and he is in a lot of trouble. Jeff Weaver was throwing in the first inning, so Matsui with the single has now hit safely in 8 in a row, and now here come the big boys, Tejada and Lee. Tejada homered with 2 out in the first inning, and for the second time in 2 innings, Jeff Weaver gets up in the Dodger bullpen. So Chad Billingsley is struggling. 2 on, nobody out. 4-0 Astros, and here's Tejada hitting .330, 8 home runs, 50 runs batted in, and he has a 10-game hitting streak. Fouls the first pitch away, and the count 0-1. Billingsley started him with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Tejada is a remarkable player. As we mentioned, he's leading shortstops in the National League in every possible department. But he's only 5'9", but he's 5'9", 215 pounds, and hit as many as 34 home runs. He hits one in the air to Ramirez, who makes the catch, and the runners hold. So they get Tejada on a fly ball to left, 1 down, and now Carlos Lee coming up with Bourne at second and Matsui at first. Carlos Lee lined a single to left in the first inning and scored on Hunter Pence's double. So Lee hitting .310, 13 home runs, 49 runs batted in. 2 on, 1 out, and the Astros trying to run away with the game, leading 4-0. The first pitch to Carlos Lee, in for a strike, and they count 0-1. Lee is a big man, 6'2", and at least 240 pounds. Carlos from Agua Dulce, Sweetwater in Panama. And the strike 1 pitch on the way, and that's in the dirt. Nice block by Martin. He's already blocked 4 of 5. 1-1 to count to Carlos Lee. In looking at Billingsley's work against the Astros, Lee is 4 for 16, so that will make him hitting .250. Lee waiting. Now the 1-1 pitch, and that's a curve in the dirt, and that kind of looked like it almost crossed up Martin. He had trouble with it, kind of boxed it a little bit. 2-1 to count. It was a 70-mile-an-hour curve, and Martin was able to block it and get the heel of the mitt on it. So Billingsley is laboring for sure. 2-1 to count to Carlos Lee. Bourne and Matsui out there, and they both run well. 4-0 Astros, second inning. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way, and Billingsley instead turns and looks back at Michael Bourne. Carlos Lee waiting, originally with the White Sox. 2-1 to Carlos. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. Another look. The run is dancing, and Bourne looked like he was all set to take off at third base, and then he went back to the bag. Bourne putting on a pretty good fake, though both Hudson and Furcal had to start to go to the bag, and Billingsley turned off the rubber. 2-1 to count to Carlos Lee. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. Chad ready, looks ready, deals, and the pitch is inside. Fastball, ball 3. 3-1. Carlos Lee, a rarity since 2003. He's right there with A-Rod and Vladimir Guerrero. Over 120 home runs, 400 RBIs, and he drives one to left center. Back goes Pierre, reaches up, makes the catch, and the runners have to get back. And boy, Chad Billingsley got away with one then. Carlos Lee really hit it, and Pierre was able to catch up to it on the track in deep left center. Lee looks back out as if to say, how did you catch that thing? But Pierre's caught a lot of them. So 2 tough outs here, and it's a backwards inning. In the first inning, Billingsley got the first 2 batters and then gave up 6 hits for 4 runs. Now he's trying to reverse it. And the first pitch to the left-hand hitting Blum is a strike. In the second inning, he gives up 2 hits right away and is now trying to get 3 consecutive outs. Blum got that lucky base hit that hit third base in the first inning. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way, and Jeff Blum drives one to the gap in right center field, and they're not going to catch it, baby. It bounces against the wall. Bourne will score. The relay will not be thrown as Matsui scores. It is 6-0 Astros, and we're only in the second inning. And with the crowd booing a little bit, Joe Torre pacing around at the foot of the staircase in the Dodger dugout. So Blum, in his 1200th game, promptly doubles in the gap to drive in 2. Here comes Torre, and there goes Billingsley. So Jeff Blum with an infield single and a long double to pick up 2 more RBIs. The Astros 6 runs, 9 hits, and we're only in the top of the second inning. And so Chad Billingsley, who struggled in his last game in Milwaukee, who struggled in 1 inning at the All-Star game, really struggles tonight and goes out allowing 6 in an inning and 2/3, and we'll be back. Part of his career, an inning and 2/3. People always understand if you talk about a hitter and you say, well, he's struggling, he's in a slump. They rarely realize that pitchers also get into a slump, where a hitter can get into a slump because if he slips into a hitch, or he's trying to pull everything, or he opens up too soon, or he overstrides. There's a million reasons why a hitter falls into a slump. But pitchers have to do so very much out on the mound that people sometimes overlook the fact that they have their own slumps, that they fall into a trap of getting away from their natural rhythm. And whatever it is for Chad Billingsley, like so many other pitchers before him, he is in a slump. His last 6 starts, his earned run average is 6.5, and he hasn't won since the middle of June at Texas. So Billingsley goes out giving up 6. And the veteran Jeff Weaver will pick up the pieces now and face Hunter Pence with Blum at second. 6 runs, 9 hits for the Astros, and we're only in the second inning. Weaver out of a stretch. Ready now, right-handed deals, little flat breaking ball for a strike. 0-1 to count. Pence again bailing. Remember, the first pitch to Hunter Pence was a breaking ball back in the first inning, and he bailed and went for a strike. Well, he backed off on that side-on slider, and that was a strike. But it's deceptive. You think he can't hit. He's batting over 300. So Pence at 6'4", so highly regarded, and well, he should be. He's only 26 years old, and this is his third year with the Astros. Batting .302, strike one pitch. Hunter takes off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. He had an older brother, Howie, who pitched in the Padres organization for 3 years, and Howard gave up baseball finally, never could get out of Class A, and he works in the oil industry. 1 ball and 1 strike with Blum at second. 6-0 Astros. Hunter Pence hard ground ball to Casey Blake, who stays with it and throws a dead fish to first, and Loney makes a good play. Whoa. Casey Blake maybe trying to aim the ball and kind of lobbed it over there, and Loney had a Astros lead the Dodgers 6-0 in the second inning, and a strike to Casey Blake. You know the expressions, the game is never over till the last man is out, or the game is never over till the fat lady sings. Here's the strike one pitch, and that's low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the boys looked it up. Roy Oswalt, when given a 6-0 lead in his career, is 63-1 as Blake fouls it away 1-2. Of course, the Dodgers are unaware of that, and it's just as well. So Oswalt facing Blake, Ethier, and Loney. 6-0 Astros second inning. Roy looks down the barrel to get a sign. Now he's ready, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Casey Blake. So that's the 3rd strikeout for Roy Oswalt, and with 1 out, the batter will be Andre Ethier. Good fastball with a little late movement on it. So Andre Ethier checking in against Oswalt. Another thing about Oswalt that has always made him so good, his ratio of strikeouts and walks. It's usually better than 3-1, and in looking at his numbers right now, it's 3-1. And the pitch to Andre Ethier, a strike. With 3 strikeouts tonight, he has 98 strikeouts and 32 walks. Now the strike one pitch on the way, off speed, grounded to Erstad. He'll feed Oswalt coming over, and just like that, 2 down and 5 in a row retired. You know, Sunday you can head to the beach, Bleacher Beach at Dodger Stadium. Enjoy unlimited barbecue, a Dodgers floppy hat, and a private beach party presented by Bud Light. And the party starts at 11:40. To purchase tickets, visit Dodgers.com/beach or call 866-DODGERS. 2 out, second inning. James Loney with a 12-game hitting streak checking in at the plate, batting .281, 7 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Oswalt over the top with a good fastball for a strike, and the count 0-1. Loney 2 for 9 in the past against Oswalt. Roy turns, ready, comes right back, and this time takes a lot off a breaking ball and finds the corner, and the count 0-2. Roy ready, and his strike 2 pitch in the dirt, waved at and missed by Loney, and for the moment at least it's a mismatch as Oswalt strikes out 4 of 6, and at the end of 2, 6-0 Houston. And we're arriving at only the 3rd inning. It'll be Pudge Rodriguez, Darren Erstad, and then the pitcher Roy Oswalt. Rodriguez did not play last night. Single to left field to drive in a run in that riotous 1st inning. Pudge with 302 home runs, over 1,248 RBIs, and 2,600 hits. There's a beach ball loose, so Pudge is directing a little traffic out there. And timeout until they get the beach ball. Pudge Rodriguez has been playing in the big league since 1991 with the Texas Rangers. Came out of Vega Baja in Puerto Rico, and he was only 16 when he signed with the Rangers. As a youngster in Puerto Rico, he was some kind of pitcher. Right-hand batter waiting at the plate, and takes a look at the one that's low, ball 1. When he was in Little League, he not only pitched 7 no-hitters, he pitched 2 of them in one day. He's only 5'9", so he was a Little Leaguer for quite a while. The 1-0 pitch is swung on, lifted to center. Back goes Pierre, away back to the track. At the wall, it's gone. Pudge Rodriguez hits it out, and the Dodgers are being lathered. It is 7-0 Houston. Trying to beat the Dodgers 4 of the 5 meetings, trying to win 7 of the last 9 here at Dodger Stadium. So Rodriguez drives it out, and for Rodriguez, having another remarkable career, 8 home runs. Of course, in his major league career, he hit as many as 35, so it's no surprise. But the Astros are just pushing the Dodgers from pillar to post here, and Darren Erstad checks in. And the first pitch to Darren, a big swing, and he fouls it back. So Pudge Rodriguez With the Yankees last year, he had 2 home runs. With the Tigers last year, he had 5. And now he has 8 this year with Houston. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and that's in there. Rodriguez, by the way, will be 38 in November. He was so successful as a pitcher in Little League that he was terrifying the kids. So they took him off the mound and made him a catcher. Strike 2 pitch on the way. That's fouled off to the left out of play. Of course, isn't that always the answer in Little League? Whoever the pitcher is, that's the game. Well, Rodriguez went from pitch to catch to hit, and what a career. 0-2 the count as Pudge puts on the gear. 7-0 Houston. The next one is swung on and fouled by Erstad, so he's still there. 0-2. Seven runs, 10 hits for the Astros. No runs, no hits for the Dodgers. In fact, 6 batters have come to the plate. 4 of the 6 struck out. 0-2. The scores in the games played between these teams: Dodgers lost 8-5 and 6-5. They won 2-0 and lost 3-0. The strike 2 pitch off the plate. Billingsley has the only Dodger victory, and he was brilliant to beat Wandy Rodriguez, but that was way back in April. That was quite a pitching duel. Rodriguez allowed 1 run. Dodgers scored 1 more and won 2-0 for Billingsley. 1-2 pitch on the way. Erstad drives one to center. Back goes Pierre, just shy of the track to make the catch for the out. So Erstad, a long fly ball to center on the heels of the home run by Rodriguez. 1 away, and Roy Oswalt coming up. One away in the 3rd inning. 7-0 Astros. With 2 out in the 1st inning, they had 6 consecutive hits, starting with a home run by Tejada. And then in the 2nd inning, with 2 out and 2 on, Jeff Blum doubled in another 2. And now here in the 3rd inning, Rodriguez has homered, and it is 7-0 Astros. The Astros trying to make a move, and they've done it over the years, as we mentioned, since 2002. They seem to play very, very well following the All-Star game. But Cecil Cooper and the boys have some pretty tough series ahead of them, and this is not one of them. Here's the strike 1 pitch, and that's a sidearm fastball for a strike, and the count 0-2. They have 2 series with the St. Louis Cardinals. They have 1 series with the Milwaukee Brewers, and they have 1 series with the Chicago Cubs, all before the 9th of August. So they have some big time work to do. They have 33 games, 30 of which are against winning teams. The pitch is inside. 1-2 the count to Roy Oswalt. So if you like the Astros going to the whip and coming from behind, then really keep tabs on them for the next couple of weeks to the 9th of August. Then you'll find out whether they might very well try to come back as they've done. The pitch to Oswalt is outside. I think Roy started to walk away. I think maybe that was going to be a strike, but it just missed. 2-2. Sidearm breaking ball. It just ran away, and Oswalt looked like he thought it was a strike. Plate umpire Jerry Meal said no. 2-2 the count to Roy. Weaver out of a stretch. Jeff comes back, sidearm way outside. 3-2 the count. The Astros going to the whip actually came out of nowhere to make the playoffs in 2004 and again in 2005. And of course they have a 5-time All-Star, 2 Gold Glover in Cecil Cooper as their manager. 3-2 fastball is low and inside, so Oswalt draws a walk. So Jeff Weaver now will be pitching to Michael Bourne, who grounded out in the first inning, hit a ground ball to Loney, and James was embarrassed. He went to the bag and Bourne beat him. So that was a Bourne ultimatum or something. So here is Michael. Bourne left-hand hitter waiting. Weaver comes to him and gets a strike. 0-1 the count. When Bourne beat Loney to the bag, he had been 0 for 9, so he had reasons for hustling down the line, and Loney was somewhat embarrassed, I'm sure. Now the strike one pitch of the left-hand hitter, and that's on the outside corner, and the count 0-2. Bourne, 26 years old. He was born 2 days after Christmas. 0-2 the count. 5'11", about 180. And the left-hand hitter swings and doesn't get it. So Bourne is 1 for 3 tonight and 1 for 7 in the series. The batter now will be Kazuo Matsui. Seven runs, 10 hits for the Astros, nothing for the Dodgers, and we're in the top of the third. Matsui flied to left and singled by a diving Casey Blake in the second inning. Kazuo takes a slow curveball in for a strike. A very, very good ball player in Japan, where he hit over 300 in his career. In the big leagues, hitting about 275, and right now hitting 259, and he takes a little high. 1 ball and 1 strike to Kazuo Matsui. They always call him Little Matsui in Japan because of Hideki. 1-1 the count. Weaver ready. Here he comes. Gets it in for a strike. 1-2 the count. So Jeff Weaver, somebody has to get the outs, and it's his job, with the Dodgers down 7-0. Jeff leans in, squints into Martin to get a sign. Now straightens up, and the 1-2 pitch coming up to Matsui. Side armor fouled away. Even though Matsui is a left-handed batter, Weaver still drops the arm and comes by way of third. Kaz at 5'10". Tejada at 5'9". When Matsui played in Japan, he had the longest consecutive game streak, 1,143. Matsui swings, lifts one into shallow right center. A trio of Dodgers, and it'll be Orlando Hudson. So a little pop fly. Ivan Rodriguez had more than a little pop fly, a home run, and it is 7-0 Houston. 7-0 Houston, and we're going to the bottom of the third inning. Dodgers really up against a mountain of a pitcher, and the background just takes your breath away at sunset and palm trees. You're looking at the winningest pitcher in the major league since 2001 when you look at Roy Oswalt, who started by winning 14 and losing only 3 in 2001. So since that time, he's won 134 games. Roy Halladay 128 and Mark Burley 127. So Oswalt, indeed a magnificent pitcher. Twice he's won 20 and now staked with a 7-0 lead, facing Hudson, Martin, and Weaver. Roy into the windup, right-handed deals, check swing by Hudson, and the pitch a strike anyway. In fact, changed the scoreboard. A check swing and no swing, says Dale Scott. So it's a 1 ball and no strike count. Hudson, Martin, and Weaver here in the third. Oswalt over the top fastball runs away, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Orlando hitting .288. Hudson last night had 2 singles and a double. Oswalt works quickly and has a towering fly ball to right, but it's very playable. Oh, he's lost it. Pence can't find it, and it's going to land, and on his way to third is Hudson with a fly ball triple to right. Hunter Pence suddenly threw both hands high in the air as if to say, where's the ball? He couldn't find it. There was no way that Michael Bourne could get over there, and by the time the ball landed, Hudson was into third with a gift triple. So the Dodgers get a big break. Instead of 1 out, you have nobody out and a runner at third. It's not that bright a sky, but Pence obviously lost the ball from the moment Hudson made contact. And here's Russell Martin. Roy Oswalt's first pitch, fastball for a strike. 0-1 the count. For Orlando, Hudson taking the gift. That is his 3rd triple of the year. And the strike 1 pitch on the way is a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Russell Martin. 7-0 Astros. But Pence loses a fly ball in the bright sky, although it's pretty dark sitting here looking up at it. But not for Hunter. 1-1 the count. Oswalt ready. Right-handed comes right back. Ground ball to third. Hudson's coming to the plate, and the throw will go to first. They take the easy out. So that makes it 7-1 in favor of the Astros, as Martin gets a gift run batted in just as Hudson got a gift triple. And the batter will be Jeb Weaver. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Astros, 1 run and 1 hit for the Dodgers. Here is Weaver. Jeb hitting .250, and Oswalt ready, starts him fastball and misses, ball 1. Weaver is 2 for 8. Oswalt struck out 4 of the first 6 batters. The 1-0 pitch fouled away, and the count 1-1. Oswalt looks down to get a sign from Pudge Rodriguez, and the 1-1 pitch on the way to Weaver, and that's taken a little low. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Roy Oswalt, quite a pitcher. 2-1 pitch is grounded through into right field for a base hit. So the Dodgers are trying to get off the floor against one of the most successful pitchers in the game, and certainly the most since 2001. They got the gift when Pence lost the fly ball, and now Weaver a base hit, and that'll bring up Rafael for call. Call struck out in the first inning. 7-1 Houston. Rafael 0 for 1, batting .252, 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. They're not going to hold Weaver. Erstad directly behind him at first base, and the pitch for call on the corner for a strike, and the count 0-1. Raphael was hitting in the 350s against Oswalt. He's had a very good month here in July, hitting 340. Now the strike one pitch. Instead, Oswalt backs off the rubber and for a call out of the box. Raphael waiting, swings, hits a ground foul outside of first to Mariano Duncan, and a no ball, 2-strike count. Furcal struck out in the first inning, struck out twice last night. Raphael waiting, and Oswalt slows down the pace a bit. Now Roy is ready, and the strike two fastball is high. 1-2 the count to Raphael Furcal. Oswalt was pitching in the World Series for the Astros, and he was going to pitch Game 6 of the National League Championship to move the club along. Roy out of his stretch. The 1-2 pitch is a little high, ball 2. Prior to the game, the owner of the Astros, Drayton McClain, came into the clubhouse, and he told Oswalt how important the game was, as if he had to be reminded. And then he said to Oswalt, if you could win this game, what would you like to get as reward? And Furcal takes outside. Oswalt said, I would like a piece of heavy equipment. And McClain said, I'll tell you what, you win the game tonight, I'll buy you a Caterpillar D6. Well, that's a bulldozer. That's the kind of a thing they use to construct interstate highways. Well, he went out, won the game, and he got himself his Caterpillar. Ground ball to Erstad on the bag, then down to Tejada, and he's going to tag out the runner Weaver, and that's the inning. However, the Dodgers get a run on a very lucky note when Hunter Pence loses a fly ball for a triple, and it is 7-1 Houston. Made his second All-Star team this year. Which other 3 current Dodgers have made more than one? Oh, I'll give you the answer in a little while. 4th inning, 7-1 in favor of the Astros. They've had 2 home runs and a couple of doubles, and the Dodgers have 2 hits, one of them A fly ball lost by Hunter Pence, hit by Orlando Hudson for a gift triple and the subsequent gift run. Tejada, Lee, and Blum checking in against Jeb Weaver. Tejada homered and fly deep to left in the second inning. Strike. Miguel hitting .329, 8 home runs, 50 runs batted in, hit safely in 10 straight. And he probably stings one into center. Boy, he hits the ball hard. So Tejada with a home run and a single tonight. He had 1 hit last night, but he was robbed of 3 more. So he could easily have 6 hits in the 2 games. Easy. And here's Carlos Lee. He singled and lined out to Juan Pierre. 1 for 3 last night. Carlos hitting .309. Lee will surprise you when you look at his overall record. Since 2003, one of 3 big leaguers of over 120 home runs, over 400 RBIs, and over 50 stolen bases. He doesn't look like that kind of a guy. His high in stolen bases would be 18. But he has stolen in double figures just about every year. Carlos from Panama. Fouled away, and that got him on the foot. Carlos, 33 years old, originally signed at 17 by the White Sox. They say he's extremely intelligent. He went from knowing little English at all to serving as a translator for other Latin players in 1 year. He grew up loving basketball and volleyball. Didn't really like baseball until he was 16, and by the time he was 17, he had signed as a pro. He is a rancher. He has a ranch in Panama with about 6,000 head of cattle. What's that old expression in Texas? They talk about a guy who's all talk. Big hat, no cattle. Well, Carlos, 6,000 head of cattle. He has a bull which he entered in a show. You know the name of the bull? Brad Ausmus. Yeah. Hard ground ball down to Furcal. They will get one, and he's going to turn it and throw it away. So Lee is safely aboard at first. So it's a force play, no further advance. 6-4 for the out, and safely aboard is Lee at first. High throw. Loney couldn't get near it. Otherwise, Lee would have been out by about 10 feet. No error. One of the basic rules for the official scorer: you cannot anticipate a double play. It's not allowed. Even though you and I sit there and say, well, that should have been a double play, but you cannot anticipate it. So that'll bring up Jeff Blum. Had that little roller that hit third base for a base hit and then doubled into in the second inning. And he hits a fly ball to Pierre. Two down in the fourth, and Hunter Pence, who lost the fly ball that went for a triple that led to the Dodger run. Hunter coming up. We told the story last night. Maybe it's appropriate tonight because he lost it. He was having problems with seeing. His father sold a watch to a man to help give him 5 weight training lessons. I think Carlos Lee might have hurt himself a little bit running to first. Anyway, while they look at Lee's left knee, Remember, he fouled the ball off and then goes to first. Take another look. There's the foul ball. It hit him right on the left knee, not the foot. He lets out a big ow. And then when he hit the ground ball, he would have been doubled up easily. Could barely get down the line. Jose Cruz, the coach, and Cecil Cooper, his manager. Carlos is going to hang tough. Anyway, to talk about Hunter Pence, his family had 4 Cocker Spaniel females they bred. They would get $600 to $800 a puppy. And when the kids helped, they'd get a little money from mom and dad. And when he was in junior college, his eyes were really bad, so the kids gave all their puppy money to fly Hunter to Monterey for LASIK surgery. Little ground ball to Hudson and the out at first. So from that day forward, the kids in the family always talked that Hunter Pence had dog eyes. And at the end of 3.5 innings, 7-1 Astros. Orlando Hudson made his second All-Star team this year, and which other 3 current Dodgers have made more than one? Well, they would have to be veteran players, and there they are, Manny Ramirez and Mark Loretta, and then Russell Martin, who certainly doesn't qualify as that much of a veteran. Meanwhile, Juan Pierre, followed by Manny Ramirez, Casey Blake. If there's anything that might make the score a little happier for the Dodgers, is the news that the Giants went 14 innings in Pittsburgh and lost 2-1. Garrett Jones hit 2 home runs in that game, one of them in the 14th inning. And the Giants go down to defeat Pirates 2 and the Giants 1. So if the Dodgers get buried tonight, they do not lose any ground. One away, here's Ramirez. Struck out in the first inning on a hellacious off-speed pitch, though he has struck out 3 times in his 5 at-bats in the series. Ball 1. Astros scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. Ground ball to short, Tejada. 2 down in the 4th inning. And the batter now will be Casey Blake, who struck out in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. Casey exchanging a few words with Pudge Rodriguez. Of course, they spent a lot of years battling each other in the American League. Casey hitting .284 and a strike. Oswalt throwing hard. He had 95 on the gun. He's done that several times already. little low. Brad Ausmus caught Roy Oswalt for years in Houston. That's a strike. And he was talking about Oswalt's attitude on the mound. Brad said he knows he's got the stuff to get anybody out, and if the hitter gets a hit, Roy believes he made a mistake. Not that the hitter was that good to beat him. He also said that when Ausmus caught him, he would shake off more pitch calls than all the other pitchers on the Houston staff combined. Haven't seen him shake Pudge Rodriguez off much, but we'll watch. 3-2 the count. We told you the way he plants his feet. The left foot's in front of the rubber. Right foot on the rubber. Ground ball back at third. The long throw on the money. So the Dodgers go down 1-2-3. They would really have gone down except for Pence misjudging and losing the fly ball, and it's still 7-1 Astros. First, Miguel Tejada against Chad Billingsley, and then later on, Pudge Rodriguez on a breaking ball from Jeff Weaver. Add to that a couple of doubles and a bunch of singles. It adds up to 7-11. They could open up a store. 7 runs and 11 hits for Miguel Tejada and company. And sitting alongside of Tejada is Roy Oswalt. He's had 8 ground ball outs. And the only reason the Dodgers got a run was the fly ball that Hunter Pence lost. So into the 5th we go. 7-1 Houston. Pudge Rodriguez 0-1 the count. Rodriguez will be 38. Came up to the Rangers in 1991 and stayed with them through 2002. Line foul. Then he had 1 year with the Marlins, 5 years with the Tigers. Last year he was in 33 games for the Yankees, and then the Astros got him. Rodriguez learned discipline early, like so many of us, from his mother. She would allow her sons an hour and a half to play, and then they had to come home. And Yvonne said she would whistle 3 times. And there's a base hit, clean as a whistle. Rodriguez with a single in the first inning, then a home run, and now a single, and he's 3 for 3. You know, kids can train for the big leagues on the field at Dodger Stadium, sure. On Junior Dodger Training Day, July 22nd, children 7 to 12 will learn baseball from coaches and players and receive a Dodger jersey free. So to book your spot, visit Dodgers.com/Junior Dodgers or give us a call 323-224-2646. Rodriguez with 3 hits at first base, and Darren Erstad single to right, fly to center, 1 for 2. There was a time years ago when Rodriguez was also a threat to steal bases besides doing everything else. One year he stole 25 bases. Of course, that's a long time ago. It was 10 years ago. Rodriguez is 0 for 2 in stolen base attempts this year. Quite a player. Do you think it was hot today? Take a look at Roy Oswalt in the on deck circle. Yeah. As far as he's concerned, there was no 100 degrees. He wants that windbreaker. Of course, it was 77 when the game started. Darren up there hacking away. No balls and 2 strikes. Erstad single to right, fly to center, 1 for 2. Everybody but Oswalt has a base hit. And the first 7 men in the lineup have scored. In on the hands, down goes Erstad. And with 1 away, Roy Oswalt will be coming up. So Weaver picks up a strikeout. That would be his second. Oswalt grounded to short and walked. We mentioned earlier in his last start against Washington, in an at-bat, he hit the ball, and the next thing you know, the fingers on his right hand went numb, and he had to come out of the game. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Oswalt very good with the bat. He has sacrificed 8 times as he looks down to Dave Clark. Combination of Wandy Rodriguez and Roy Oswalt can be very, very impressive for the Astros. But then the question is, where are they going to go with Mike Hampton and Russ Ortiz? We'll find out. Hampton pitches tomorrow night against Clayton Kershaw. Russ Ortiz pitches Sunday against Hiroki Kuroda. So for Clayton making his notes, and they have to be a book full watching the Astros pile up 7 runs and 12 hits tonight in the first 3 innings. Michael Bourne grounded out, singled, struck out. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Astros. 1 run, 2 hits for the Dodgers. The Astros would have really had something going if Pence had not lost that fly ball. Dodgers would not have scored tonight, and that means the Astros would have a string of 24 1/3 scoreless innings. But when Hunter lost the fly ball and went for a triple, and the Dodgers wound up with a gift run. 1 ball and no strikes. Off speed, dropped it in nicely. 1-1. One and 2. Bourne hitting .283. He has 3 home runs, strikes out a lot for a guy with only 3 home runs. He has struck out 75 times. And yet, with all those strikeouts, hitting .283. Trying to pick up Pudge Rodriguez from second base with 2 outs, 7-1 Astros. And that's going to be lined into right field. That'll score Rodriguez easily. And with Bourne's speed, he's into second base standing with a double. For Bourne, that would be his 16th double. And it is 8-1 Astros. So Kaz Matsui will be coming up as Weaver gives up a run on 2 hits. Ethier gets the ball back in. Matsui now trying to pick up Bourne. Kazuo flied to left, singled, and popped up. Foul back, 0-1. Matsui hitting .258. 3 home runs, 22 runs batted in. 3 home runs, 2 of them left-handed. And a little roller, tough play. Casey Blake throws and gets him. Nice play. 1 run, 2 hits, and a man left. And at the end of 4.5, 8-1 Astros. That's a strike. 0-1. Andre hitting .249. 18 home runs, 56 runs batted in. Ground ball to Matsui. One away. And the batter will be James Loney. When you look at the background of Roy Oswalt,
First baseman, number 7, James.
Amazing where he came from in Mississippi. Oswalt lives in a house that he mostly designed in Weir, Mississippi. It's a 40-acre home site. It's the same land that his grandfather once owned and worked. His dad was a logger. His dad was only 5'5" and used a chainsaw every day until he was 78 years old. So then he started growing watermelons, 20 acres of them. So Roy and his older brother Brian worked for the grandfather. They would hoe and pick melons all day, load them onto a cart, sell them from a roadside stand, always underneath an oak tree to stay out of the sun. That'll take care of Loney. 2 down. But the thing that has a baseball touch about it, they would be under this tree selling the watermelons right by Route 413. But on the other side of Route 413 there was a pond. And when they were kids, they were trying to throw rocks from here to there. And Roy could do it, and nobody else could. And he never could understand it until he grew up to be a little older. The pond, where he was the only one to reach with rocks, was a good 100 yards away. Though even at a tender age throwing rocks, he had a big league arm. 0-1 to Orlando. Of course, the one story the teammates marvel at is the one we told you earlier about how, with the bad arm, working on the car, touched the wire, knocked him across the garage, shook him up, and cured the arm. One ball and 1 strike. Oswalt in August of '06 signed a 5-year deal with the Astros, and then the Astros have an option for 2012, so he figures to be around a while. Fastball, curve, change. Fly ball to left field. Carlos Lee is there. And at the end of 5, as Oswalt is pitching a gem, it's 8-1 Astros. Here at Dodger Stadium against Montreal. He was 13-3 when he hurt his arm, and everybody said he's done. Well, he had won 122 games, and then Dr. Frank Jobe performed what is now called the Tommy John surgery. TJ, as he was always called, came back after the surgery to win 164 more games. It was really a testimony to his big heart and his determination and the skill of Frank Jobe. Let's go back to this one. I remember too, in talking about TJ, and now that the Dodgers are playing Houston tonight, he seemed like such a forlorn figure. We'd be on the road, we'd be in the Astrodome in Houston. Of course, Tommy couldn't play, and there he would be indoors running miles and miles on the warning track in the Houston Astrodome, And to be honest, I think all of us in the baseball party with the Dodgers would look and think, poor guy, he'll never make it back. Well, did he ever make it back? What an inspiration. Tommy John. In those days, by the way, in the Dodger clubhouse, they had little director's chairs. You know what a director's chair looks like? And maybe a canvas seat and a canvas back. And they would either have your first name or your nickname on the back of the canvas chair. Well, Tommy John stuttered. Yeah, he did. Now, everybody called him TJ, right? On the back of his canvas chair, it went J. Yeah, honest. That's a clubhouse secret. Now you know. And a terrific human being. 1-2 to Miguel Tejada. Fly ball to Pierre. 1 away, and Carlos Lee coming up. So Tejada with a home run and a single. Back to the dugout. Carlos Lee, single, lined out, hit into a force play, fouled a pitch off his knee, hung tough, and is still playing. Carlos batting .308. And a strike. Oh, and 1 to lead. Jeff Blum on deck. Tomorrow night, Mike Hampton and Clayton Kershaw. Another strike. Sunday afternoon, since this is a rare 4-game series, Russ Ortiz and Hiroki Kuroda. Fly ball to right field. Ethier is there. Jeff Weaver has been in there since the 2nd inning. He came in and got Hunter Pence and has stayed in. He's allowed 2 runs, and he has 2 out here in the 6th. Oswalt has allowed 2 hits, and one of them a lost fly ball. That's how great he's been. Breaking ball strike. Jeff Blum, single, double to drive in 2, fly to center. Nice pick by Raphael. High throw, little toe dance by Loney. So the 6th inning is in the books, and at the end of 5 1/2, it's 8-1 Houston. Michael Bourne, a ground ball to Loney, a race to the bag, Speed wins it, and it belongs to Bourne as he just beat Loney and winds up with a base hit. The other expression, it'll look like a line drive in the box score. So he's 2 for 4 tonight. 8-1 Astros. Roy Oswalt has made only 54 pitches in his 5 innings. Comebacker. He's got a Gold Glove out there on the mound, 1 away. Blake DeWitt is going to come up and pinch hit. So in looking at Oswalt's performance, 10 of 16 outs have been in 3 or less pitch at bats and 11 ground ball outs. So Blake DeWitt should change his name to Otis because he's been up and down more than the fabled elevator. And every time you look up, when a pitcher goes down, it's Blake DeWitt who's called up. Ball 1. And I guess in some ways the humor could be that one of these days DeWitt's going to have to pitch. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Scott Elbert begins to loosen up. High fly ball. Michael Bourne is there. So DeWitt doesn't hang around. 2 down. We were talking about Oswalt's feet. We might take a shot of his feet, show you the little bit of difference. He will put the right foot on the rubber, but the left foot will be in front of the right foot. All right, now you see, and there's the left foot, because he always felt it didn't make any sense to have both feet on the rubber, nor did it make much sense to have one foot behind because he wanted to come hurtling at the hitter. So his rhythm, the left foot is in front, and then he will step back and then push off and hurtle towards the hitter like that. And boys, he made that pay off. He had 40 victories in 2 years, in 04 and 05. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's in there. Fouled away. Raphael hitting .252 with 4 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Slapped that one into left field for a base hit. So a slow curveball, and all Furcal did was put the bat on it, and he gets himself a base hit. Here's Juan Pierre. 2 out, 6th inning, 8-1 Astros. Ball 1. Another nice thing that Roy Oswalt did, I don't really think it was a business deal so much. He was having a restaurant built when this year began outside of Ware, Mississippi. Kind of a steakhouse. And the reason he wanted the restaurant built, he thought it would give the community a convenient place to spend an evening out on the town, and that's no easy task in Ware, Mississippi. There are many places to go. Taking the family to dinner at Ware, you might have to drive an hour away, and Roy thought, well, that's foolish. Why don't we have a nice little steakhouse and everybody can hang out? Ground ball to Matsui. That'll be that. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And Roy Oswalt putting on a show at the end of 6, 8-1 Astros. speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. We're going to the 7th inning. It's been all Houston. They scored 4 times in the first inning with 2 out. And chased Chad Billingsley in the 3rd shortest start of his career. Blake DeWitt, who pinch hit for Weaver, stays in the game at shortstop. Scott Elbert, the new pitcher, will go in for Call's spot. Elbert pitched in the 9th inning last night and got Darren Erstad, and that was it. This time he's got Hunter Pence, who is 1 for 3. Elbert, 24 years old, out of Joplin, Missouri. He was a #1 pick by the Dodgers in 2004 and had a lot of physical problems. Little ground ball to DeWitt, and that'll do it for Hunter Pence. 1 away. So DeWitt just arrives, gets in the game, and immediately gets a ground ball. Pudge Rodriguez, single to left, homered, single to center. He's having a big night. 3 for 3. Whenever you talk about Pudge Rodriguez, he has been such a successful hitter. But you always have the name Mike Piazza coming up. And most people would say that Piazza will go down as the best hitting catcher in history. But once catchers get to their 10th year, traditionally they really slow down the wear and the tear. Fly ball to Pierre. That goes for Berra and Bench and Black Mike, as they call Mickey Cochran, Bill Dickey, Gary Carter. 10 years is asking a lot. Well, meanwhile, Rodriguez came up in 91. So by 2001, you'd think he'd about slowed down, and he's still at it and going strong. And look at that. No one has caught more games than Ivan Rodriguez. Just think of all the foul balls that he's taken off the feet, off the hands, off the arms, off the mask. Remarkable. And God has blessed him for sure. That's a strike to Erstad. 1 ball and 1 strike. Darren singled, fly to center, struck out. Lance Berkman is out with a strained left calf. He hurt it running to first base last night. They didn't think it was serious. Not in the lineup tonight. And we'll see about Lance tomorrow as he talks to Jeff Blum in the Astro dugout. Berkman is quite a player. And of course, if the Astros are going to go anywhere, he's got to be there every day. Lance has a nickname which I think he really gave himself. He refers to himself as the Big Puma, the Big Cat. Look at those last 8 years. Big Cat has certainly left a big footprint, averaging 33 home runs, 110 RBIs, and over 35 doubles. That got away from Elbert, and safely aboard is Erstad. See if Scotty is all right. Yeah, Elbert apparently okay. Ball hit back. He reaches up with his bare hand. Couldn't make the play. So Erstad gets himself a base hit, and Roy Oswalt will be coming up with 2 out 8-1 Astros in the seventh. Astros scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third, rested for an inning, and scored another in the fifth. And led by Miguel Tejada, who homered with 2 out in the first inning. And that was the beginning of the end for Chad Billingsley. Remarkable, Billingsley retired the first 2 batters born in Matsui on 5 pitches. It took him 28 more pitches to get the third out, and in between he gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. Foul back. 0-2 to Oswalt. You know, the combination of Wandy Rodriguez and Roy Oswalt is really something. Figure Oswalt's going to win tonight. You figure. If so, the last 10 combined games started by Wandy Rodriguez and Roy Oswalt, they would be 7-0, and the team record would be 9-1. But you can't go to the dance with only 2 pitchers. That'll do it for Oswalt. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and at the end of 6½, it's 8-1 Astros, and the crowd will be asked to stand now for God Bless.
Hitting up the bottom of the seventh for the Dodgers, left fielder number 99, Manny Ramirez.
Eight to 1 Houston, bottom of the 7th inning. Ramirez, Blake, and Ethier against Roy Oswalt. Ramirez struck out in the first inning, grounded to short in the 4th. Last night he was 1 for 4. So he is 1 for 6, and he has struck out 3 times in the series. And a strike. 0-1. Hard slider. And of course, with the cell phones and the small cameras, a lot of pictures being taken. 0-1 the count. Curveball. 0-2. He struck out Manny in the first inning. Manny had no what to do on that pitch. I mean, we have not seen him as confused as he was on that one pitch in the first inning since he became a Dodger. It was a remarkable off-speed breaking ball. 0-2. Show him a fastball at 95. Here's that first inning pitch as the boys pull it up for you. Watch Manny. And you don't really get the effect looking at it sideways, but it really was remarkable. 1-2. There it is, an off-speed change, only this time it will be Erstad making the catch. So that slow curveball is in the 60s, and it's the second time that it's gotten Ramirez. So he goes 0 for 3. There it is. Go hit me. Rip Sewell used to have a pitch a long time ago called the Ephus pitch, which was just a big high lob to the plate. And he got a lot of hitters out. And the only problem was Rip Sewell came in the All-Star game and threw an Ephus pitch to Ted Williams, who hit it out of state. Well, it was an out pitch for everybody else. 0-2 the count to Casey Blake. 1 away. Bottom of the 7th. 8-1 Astros. Casey has struck out and grounded out. The Dodgers have 3 hits. Hudson a fly ball. Hunter Pence lost it and it went for a triple. Then of all people, Jeff Weaver got a base hit to right field. With 2 out in the 6th inning, Rafael Furcal just slapped at a curveball and stroked it into left field, and that's it. There's a change, pull foul. That's again in the 60s. And boy, you talk about striding towards the hitter. I think that's what's so confusing. He makes a big stride and then it just floats up to the plate. And then he comes back and throws 95. Wonder what it must have been like to come from a town of 550 people and pitch in the big leagues before 50,000. I used to always think about Mickey Mantle from Commerce, Oklahoma, a little town. How in the world he ran out and played in that cathedral that was Yankee Stadium? Amazing. Bouncer by the mound and base hit. And you know who is angry? Roy Oswalt. He thought he should have made the play. He is ticked off. You know, he's never made an error in 107 games. And I guess he thought he should have handled this. Just couldn't get to it. Ball was hit pretty hard, but he's rolling around angry. I should have had it. So Blake, base hit up the middle, and the batter will be Andre Ethier with 1 out. Four hits allowed by Oswalt. Ethier grounded to first, grounded to second, 0 for 2. James Loney on deck. Ball 1. The last game that Oswalt pitched, he went 6 innings and made 87 pitches. So he had made 65 pitches through 6 innings. Ethier hitting .248. Fastball for a strike. There's the total, 76. third inning, made 16 pitches only because Pence lost the fly ball. That's a line drive into left. Coming up is Jason Michael to make the catch. So Ethier hard out to left. Blake holding at first. And with 2 down, James Loney coming up. Loney is struck out and hit back to the box, 0 for 2. 8 runs, 14 hits for the Astros. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers. Fastball, little swing to Blum in the dirt, and a nice play by Erstad. So for Oswalt, gives up a base hit and nothing else. Boy, he is breezing, and at the end of 7, he's also leading 8-1. He shouldn't have allowed that. Just a fly ball lost in the sky by Hunter Pence. Otherwise, he's been absolutely magnificent. No walks, just a couple of singles. Juan Castro will take over at shortstop. Blake DeWitt moves over to second base. And the first pitch hit in the air to Manny Ramirez, and it goes foul and out of play. So Michael Bourne, who is a first ball swinger, comes back 0-1. Oswalt, just to conclude his performance for 7 innings, and he's not through. He has made only 78 pitches. So he won 22 years in a row, and you can understand why. Won 17 last year. Just from what we hear, did not pitch that well early in the year. Fouled away. But boy, he is pitching a gem tonight. Tomorrow night, we'll see Mike Hampton against Clayton Kershaw. Sunday, Russ Ortiz and Hiroki Kuroda, as Kershaw talks to Randy Wolf, who pitched so well last night and had to suffer a defeat. There's Russ Ortiz. We haven't seen Russ in a while, but we'll see him tomorrow. At one time, he strained his relationship with the Astros. From what we read, he was saying that he and Cooper were not on the same page, but that's gone by. Ortiz, local boy, he was born in Encino, came up with the Giants, then the Diamondbacks, went over the American League and came back to the Giants, and here he is with the Astros. So Hampton tomorrow night, Ortiz on Sunday. Astros making themselves feel very much at home. If they win this one, they will have won 7 of the last 9 they've played here at Dodger Stadium. Still 3-2 to Michael Bourne. Bourne with a leg single when he beat Loney to the bag and a double to right. Scored 1, knocked in 1. 3-2 to Michael. And got it. Inside corner, down he goes. He strikes out twice tonight. You know, the Dodgers have really had a very productive farm system, and what makes it amazing is how their first round picks have paid off. And can you imagine 5 first-round picks are on the current roster, and Loney is playing, and Billingsley is playing, and Elbert is playing, Kershaw is pitching regularly, and Blake DeWitt has been up and down. 5 first-round picks on the club. How many first-round picks never materialize for any other teams? Loney, DeWitt, Elbert. And of course we'll see plenty of Kershaw tomorrow night. 2-0. Hiroki Kuroda, Clayton Kershaw, and Randy Wolf doing the talking. Pitchers usually hang out together. Shot up the middle. Despite the dive by DeWitt, it's a base hit up the middle for Matsui. So Kazuo Matsui goes 2 for 5, and the batter will be Miguel Tejada. The paid attendance tonight, and remember we have Friday night fireworks. Paid attendance 51,209. 51,209. Tejada has homered and singled 2 for 4. Ball 1. Miguel Tejada, what a career he has had since coming up to the A's in 1997. Hit down the line, going foul. 1-1. Tejada had some very big years with the A's. One year he had 34 home runs and 131 runs batted in. That was his finest year. But he's had a lot of good ones. 1-2. He has done so much and has done so well. You read about him, and then the first time you see him, it's a little surprise. Talk about a little package. He's 5'9", but he weighs about 215. Little pop fly. Who will it be? It will be DeWitt. Two out in the 8th inning, and Jason Michael will be coming up. Michael finishing up in left field for Carlos Lee, who bruised his left knee with a foul ball. Stayed in for a while, and then they take him out. Jason is out of Tampa, Florida. Went to the University of Miami. "33 years old and a strike." When he was growing up, he was close friends with Pat Burrell, who was a first-round pick of the Phillies. And Michaels was the Phillies' 4th-round pick the same year, although he was not the prospect that Pat Burrell was. Came up and spent 4 years with the Phillies, 3 years with the Indians, last year with the Pirates. One ball and 2 strikes. Fouled away. When Jason was going to the University of Miami and eventually drafted by the Phillies, Pat Burrell also went to Miami. One and two. Michael's pretty good hitter. His major league career batting average .271, and Elbert just blows him away with a fastball on the inside corner. So no runs, one hit, a man left at the end of 7 1/2, 8-1 Houston. And then did not strike out another man for the rest of the night. Here he goes to work in the 8th inning against Orlando Hudson substitute. That would be Juan Castro. Oswalt made 78 pitches in his 7 innings. He has not walked a batter. He was given a 4-0 lead in the first inning. Then it was 6-0 in the second inning. Then it was 7-0 in the third inning. That may be one reason why he hasn't struck out anybody since the second inning. Fouled away, 1-1. Juan Castro hitting .352 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. Line drive foul into the crowd of 51,000. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Claudio Vargas, who pitched briefly last night, gets up again. Last night the Dodgers used Elbert and Vargas. Tonight they've used Weaver and Elbert, and it looks like Vargas. Still 1-2-1. Roy Oswalt, who is 5-0 against Western Division teams. Wow. 2-3 in his career at Dodger Stadium. 5-3 lifetime against the Dodgers. Off speed, popped up, late start by Bourne. He hollered Tejada off the ball. He did not get a jump at all, but he is so fast out there. So 1 away.
Catcher, Russell Martin.
Russell Martin will be coming up. Martin grounded to third, hit back to the box, 0 for 2. His ground ball on the heels of the fly ball lost by Pence That allowed Hudson a gift triple, and then the ground ball got Hudson home. So for Russell Martin, he's the proud possessor of the only Dodger run batted in tonight, and that was a gift. Astros 8 runs, 15 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 4 hits. 1-1. One ball, one strike. A change after that fastball, and he dropped it in there. 1-2 the count. So you go from 95 to 72. And hits him with an off-speed pitch. You can see him touching himself as if say that's my fault. So you know you can set sail with the Dodgers on the first ever Dodger Life fishing adventure. You can join Brent Leach, James McDonald on a private chartered fishing boat for a day of deep sea fishing July 23rd. Packages include lunch, parking, and equipment, and to purchase, call 323-224-2646 or visit Dodgers.com/DodgerLife. A strike to DeWitt, 0-1. Blake came into the game as a pinch hitter, fly to center, stayed in, and hits a fly ball to Hunter Pence on its straight changeup. 2 down. Dodgers will now use Mark Loretta to bat for Scott Elberts, who's in the cleanup or moved up into the top spot for Rafael Furcal, and Loretta will now hit for him.
Your attention, please, for the Dodgers. Pinch hitting for Albert, number 5, Mark Loretta.
So Loretta, who's been in 62 games, coming off the bench as a pinch hitter, and he's been very successful. 9 for 35 with 4 runs batted in. Ball 1. 2 out, bottom of the 8th. 8-1 in favor of the Astros and Roy Oswalt. They're on their way to beating the Dodgers 4 out of 5. And 7 of 9 here. 1-1. The Astros winning tonight will have won 3 straight. 6 of the last 7, 8 of the last 10 as Cecil Cooper's club, as they usually do for the last 6-7 years, trying to make a move after the All-Star break. 1-2. We mentioned it earlier when you talk about Houston, and if you want to follow how serious and successful their comeback would be, they have 2 series with the Cardinals, 1 with Milwaukee and 1 with the Cubs, all before August 9th. I don't think there was a pitch. I think timeout. Yeah. No pitch. The count is still 1-2. The Astros play 30 of 33 games against teams with a winning record. They'll really get an idea if they survive that ordeal as to just how serious their challenge will be. 1-2 to Mark. And he just hits one behind the bag. There's Tejada to get him. No runs, no hits, a hit batter and a man left. Oswalt pitching a gem, and at the end of 8, 8-1 Astros. Roy Oswalt has made 93 pitches in 8 innings, and he's had 14 ground ball outs. And the only run was the fly ball, as Miguel Tejada takes a rest in front of him. Mike Hampton in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. The veteran left-hander will be on the mound tomorrow night against Clayton Kershaw. We haven't seen Hampton pitch in quite a while, and you can bet he's all business tonight, getting ready for tomorrow night. Hampton signed some high-priced contracts, then had all kinds of arm trouble, and he'll put that 5-6 record. But look at that, 148 victories in his career. Admittedly, a long time ago at his best, when he won 22 back in 1998. Meanwhile, Claudio Vargas will take over in the 9th inning. 8-1 Astros. Vargas pitched briefly last night in the 8th inning. Came in, walked Lee, and got Tejada. Now here he is facing Blum. Strike. Blum hit a little ground ball up along third. Blake didn't have a play, so he let the ball decide the issue, and the ball hit third base for a base hit. Then he doubled in 2 runs in the 2nd inning. Since then, fly to center, grounded to short. 1-1 to Jeff. One and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. We're in the 9th. 8-1 Astros. Billingsley, Weaver, Elbert, and Vargas against Roy Oswalt. For Billingsley, chased in the 2nd inning, the 3rd shortest start in his big league career. Chad went 1 2/3, made 52 pitches, and gave up 6 runs and 9 hits. Oswalt, meanwhile, 93 pitches, just absolutely breezing. Little pop fly. That'll be that for Blum. Oswalt, by the way, is working on his 3rd complete game. And he is back on the beam. We're wondering when the Astros got here, looking at his record, 5-4, maybe he was hurt. But the answer is no, he wasn't hurt, just didn't pitch very well early in the year. Boy, he's pitching well tonight. Hunter Pence doubled, grounded out twice, grounded out again, so he's 1 for 4. Working his way up the handle of the bat. 1-1. Hunter Pence, despite the fact that he chokes up on the bat, hit 25 home runs last year. He hit 17 the year before. And as he stands at the plate, he has 11 so far this year. Off the plate. 3-1. and a strike. Eight runs, 15 hits for the Astros. Home runs by Tejada and Rodriguez. 1 run, 4 hits for the Dodgers, who were really blown out of the water in the first inning. Fastball hit to the left. Nice pick. Castro. Boy, he is a marvel. He is something. So he takes a hit away from Pence, 2 down. Marvelous hands. Vargas pointing as if to say, "You're my man." Juan Castro, the lad from Los Mochis. Pudge Rodriguez singled, homered, singled, fly to center. Having a big night. Knocked in 2, scored a couple, 3 for 4. Right. And having a good time. And a shot up the middle for Rodriguez, his 4th hit. So Pudge won't budge. 3 singles and a home run. And the batter now, Darren Erstad. 8 runs on 16 hits for the Astros. Nine hits off Billingsley, 4 against Weaver, 2 against Elbert, and now Vargas gives up his hit. Ball 1 to Darren Erstad. Singled, fly to center, struck out, and singled off Elbert's hand in the 7th inning. Darren 2 for 4. And popped up Castro. No runs, 1 hit, a man left, and we're heading for the bottom of the 9th with the Astros leading the Dodgers and led by Roy Oswalt 8-1. Roy Oswalt has been absolutely magnificent. Should really have a shutout, and it will be Juan Pierre followed by Manny Ramirez and then Casey Blake. Oswalt trying for his 3rd complete game, and as he has rolled along with 14 ground ball outs. Pierre, for instance, 0 for 3, all ground balls. Fastball strike. Oswalt has not walked anybody. Did hit one, and that's it. He hit Martin with an off-speed pitch in the 8th inning. Off speed and another ground ball. His curves and changes are in the high 60s and very low 70s. And the Dodgers just killing worms. Hitting one ground ball after another. And the batter, Manny Ramirez, who has struck out, grounded out, and fouled out. 0 for 3, 1 for 7 in the 2 games. Tomorrow night, remember, Mike Hampton and Clayton Kershaw. Sunday afternoon, Russ Ortiz and Hiroki Kuroda. Colorado leading the Padres 5-3 in the 9th inning. Manny hitting .344, 9 home runs, 29 runs batted in. He was 1 for 3 in the past against Oswalt with a home run. Well, now he is 1 for 6. Two balls, no strikes. Whoa. After all the slow stuff, he finally got a fastball and swung from the heels. That was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And right up there. And a drive to straightaway center, and Bourne is at the other end of it. So Manny goes 0 for 4. And with 2 out, Casey Blake coming up. For Roy Oswalt, 99 pitches, and now he has just picked up number 100. And the only inning where he had to pitch really would be 16 pitches in the 3rd inning, and only because Hunter Pence lost the fly ball that fell for a triple that should easily have been caught. Pence also doubled in 2 runs in the 1st inning. 0-1. And back he comes with the fastball. So changing speeds, changing pitches, and with magnificent control. Oswalt looks like a 20-game winner tonight. And he did that 2 years in a row. Foul ball. Paid attendance 51,209. Looking forward to some Friday night fireworks after the Astros had all the fireworks in the first 3 innings at the expense of Chad Billingsley. 0-2. Fastball. Interesting that Oswalt struck out 4 of the first 6 batters he faced. Then he had a 6-0 lead. And he has not struck out another hitter. He just cut down on his number of pitches with perfect control. 0-2. Off speed. He goes from 95 to 77, and he can go to 72, and he's made some pitches in the high 60s. Fastball, and that'll do it for Casey and for the Dodgers as they bow to Oswalt, pitching his best game, I believe, of the year so far. 8-1. 8 runs, 16 hits for the Astros, 1 run, only 4 hits for the Dodgers.